Howdy. Climate activists. University professor sticks to the street. Truck almost drives into the demonstrators. On Tuesday morning, activists blocked the road just before the Wankdorf motorway exit. Among them, university professor Julia Steinberger. Forces pull demonstrators from the street. That's what's about. Julia Steinberger, a professor at the University of Lausanne, took part in the motorway blockade in Bern. She glued herself to the pavement along with another person. There was just two. Okay. According to a news scout, the police played a game of cat and mouse with the activists. Climate activists from the organization Renovate Switzerland sat down on the street near Wankdorf on Tuesday morning and blocked it with cardboard posters. A news scout video shows how cantonal police forces dragged the activists to the side of a road. It's a cat and mouse game, says the news scout. People sat down on the street at around 8:30, just before the motorway. First they blocked drivers, honked, and discussed with the activists. Eventually the police arrived and dragged away the blocking people. However, as soon as they have been pulled to the side, they got up and sat down on the street again, says the news scout. Journalist Joel Espy posted a video on Twitter showing a truck driving through the line of demonstrators, honking its horn. We cannot see it. University professor is stuck. Yeah, stuck in her paradigm. The campaign is Renovate Switzerland's fifth blockade campaign this week. Road blockages have already taken place in Lausanne and Zurich, among others. As the organization writes in a press release, Julia Steinberg, a researcher and ecological economics at the University of Lausanne, also took part in the campaign. She was one of the two people who stuck to the asphalt. I'm here as a mother, as a citizen, as a teacher, and as a scientist. It is no exaggeration to say that the habitability of our planet is being destroyed before our eyes. We must do everything in our power to save our future and the future of life on which we all depend, including nonviolent action. Steinberger was quoted as saying. Police confirm use. What? As the request of 20 minutes, which is the paper here we are reading, our news magazine, the Bern Cantonal Police confirmed the operation at the motorway axis. 6 people took part in the climate campaign. 3 of them stuck themselves on the street, according to Capo, Cantonal Police. The activists must expect to be charged. What do you think of a university professor taking part in the campaign? Julia K. Steinberger. Researches and teaches in the interdisciplinary areas of ecological economics and industrial ecology. Her research examines the connections between resource use, energy and materials, greenhouse gas emissions, and societal performance, economic activity, and human well-being. She is interested in quantifying the current and historical linkages between resource use and socio-economic parameters and identifying alternative development pathways to guide the necessary transition to a low-carbon society. She is the recipient of a Leverhulme Research Leadership Award for her research project Living Well Within Limits, investigating how universal human being might be achieved within planetary boundaries. She is lead author for the IPCC 6th Assessment Report with Working Group 3. is Professor of Societal Challenges of Climate Change at the University of Lausanne since 2020. Sorry. Before that, she worked at the University of Leeds and was a senior researcher at the Institute of Social Ecology in Vienna, where she investigated sustainable cities and the links between material use and economic performance. She has held postdoctoral positions at the universities of Lausanne and Zurich, obtained her PhD from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. She has published over 60 internationally peer-reviewed articles since 2009 in journals including Nature Climate Change, Nature Energy, Nature Sustainability, WIRES, which is obviously a shortening for something, Climate Change, Environmental Science and Technology, and Environmental Research Letters. IPCC. We have to get a low carbon footprint. This is what they say, because it's heating the climate. Let me show you just once again some pictures. So this is all still mainstream science. PALLAS, Planetary Analogs, Laboratory for Light, Atmospheres and Surface Simulations. June 2015, and it's in this kind of registered document here, Utrecht University. I will put a link below, you can check it out if you want to. I wanted to show you just this picture here. Approximate evolution of the Earth's atmosphere and Martian CO2, showing the evolution of the main terrestrial atmospheric gases as well as the main Martian atmospheric gas, CO2 as a function of time. The area of heavy impacts and the window in which life on Earth originated are shown, because both had a large influence on the atmospheric evolution. CO2 goes down and then it goes a little bit up. And we are talking about billions of years. Billions of years. Very long time frame. And the atmospheric component is such that there is about 0.04% of CO2 in our atmosphere at the moment. Plants need CO2, otherwise they cannot grow. If we take it off entirely, the plants will die, so do we. We will die off. There's nothing to breathe, nothing to eat, nothing anymore if there's not enough CO2 in our atmosphere. Still two pictures. Yeah, actually, that's maybe easier to do it like that because we have all together. Temperature fluctuations over time. Note 300,000 years. Temperature goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. All the time. Holocene temperature variations. Now we have to check the timeline once again, because we are just now talking about thousands of years and not hundreds of thousands. Glacier period, ice age ended, temperature rose. Noah. And we are here. All of us, alive today. But everybody knows Noah's story. As I have talked already about the water today earlier. Ancient stories are not just stories. So I really wonder if this Dr. Julia, whatever it was, has ever watched at these kind of temperature variations, CO2 variations. Is she aware of cosmic cycles? 12,000 years, 6,000, 3,000, 1,500, 400 year sun cycles? Other things which might happen in the past? Mainstream science. Now, obviously, like in my recent, like the latest video I just made today, where I have been talking about like ancient people, like their stories have to be taken into account. As Dave Talbot said already many times, Velikovsky said many times, many other people have been saying this many times. It's not just that ancient people, they were just hunters and gatherers, and every now and then they drew some reindeer or whatever stuff on a cave, and then we made art and let's continue and die off, and nothing ever is saved. And in one point of time, they just start to draw really strange creatures onto the walls of the caves. Yeah, some claim they have been on drugs, that's why they did it. But afterwards, anyway, they were extinct. Something happened, so they have probably seen something, and according to Anthony Perrat, they have seen plasma discharge events in the sky. They have witnessed how winds carried away mountains, how lightning strikes created the valleys in an instant. How is it possible that there was so much water all over the place if it hasn't come just straight up from the ground? Now we have experienced a drought last summer. And for all of you who have ever seen footage of a tsunami, first the water is retreating and then it is coming back. And in a way, I think this drought situation might be the similar thing. It is first retreating before it is coming back. First it goes into the ground, there is no water on the surface, everything is dry, and then it will come back. It will come back as it does from above, in form of rain, snow, hail, whatever. It will also rise from the ground. It will liquefy the ground. Stuff will just, like the ground gets so unstable because the amount of water in it, many towns, they will get just destroyed, and pipelines, electricity, and whatever, sewer pipes, streets, roads, bridges, railways, airports, ports, everything which is built on ground. In one point, it couldn't be too stable anymore. And earthquakes. And vibration makes the water rise. So if there's many earthquakes, even though they are not big, they make the water rise. And if there's more water in the surface, like in the surface, not on the surface, like I mean like in the surface layer of our ground, in the rocks and wherever, it will interact much more strong with the electromagnetic conditions of Earth. Because it creates its own energy. Easy water. Surface tension. If it's just a lake, there is not too much energy within the water itself, because there is just like the bottom and the surface of the lake, which is in a way charged. But if it's in the ground, it's all over the place. And if there's quakes and quartz veins, they can emit electromagnetic energies as well, piezoelectricity. So which is the water in the crust could just amplify all these, which could attract weather patterns, which could lead to downpour events, lightning strikes, low pressure or high pressure systems, getting stuck in places, Usually they just wandered over the landscape. Nowadays they get stuck. No one knows why. I think it's because Earth's magnetic shield or field is weakening, so the influence of telluric currents, indigenous electromagnetic currents, circuits, will grow more and more. It will make more stable connections to the heavens. That's why they don't move too much anymore. It's like a pillar of energy from the ground below to the surface, through the atmosphere and beyond, to the center of our galaxy. And from there, even further. So it is somehow really sad seeing a professor gluing itself to a street, like thinking doing something good, waking people up to climate change, pay more taxes, buy a smaller car or use the train because it's producing less CO2. It's so sad. How much money is just wasted by this? And now the fingers are aching because there's no skin anymore. It's stuck on the road. Would she have done the similar thing if she would know about cosmic cycles? Would she have done the similar thing just if she would have taken a step back, look at her own work within a certain paradigm of CO2 and climate change crisis, human-induced climate change? We have a climate change, we have a climate crisis, but it's not human-made. It's a cosmic cycle. Maybe extreme conditions demand extreme actions. Maybe I write this person. Let's see what she thinks. I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's a good person. She's like doing something. She's going for it. But she just doesn't know that she doesn't know. Because otherwise she wouldn't do these kind of things. If you would be aware about cosmic cycles and the electrical environment we are living in and we are a part of, our thoughts are electromagnetic impulses interpreted by our brain. Our heart is getting many electroshocks every minute in order to keep you alive. Our blood is red. There is iron in our blood very much. And some of the parts of our blood are so small and we have so small veins, especially like on the outer, like in the fingers and where else. They don't really fit in those veins because the particles are too big, but still they go through. And the heart has no possibility to pump everything everywhere because we would explode. There would be such a huge pressure. And I think it could have something to do with our aura. It is an electromagnetic pull which makes those basically two big particles move in two small veins in order to provide the whole body with oxygen and other stuff we need to stay healthy. Yeah, this is what I think. But anyway, I leave it here. Glued professors on the street. And somehow Queen Elizabeth, she also relates to CO2 and the whole industry which is created around that. I tried to find it quickly, but I didn't. Maybe I talk about this later. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Let's see. But anyway, thanks.